Area and the perimeter. Perimeter of a circle. This is what we discussed. So I'm going to give you a small brush up here. So if you have a circle here, it's a full circle. This is called a full circle. Then radius r. Now, what is a perimeter? What is this guy? Perimeter means if you start from here, the distance around the circle. This. That's a length, right? You can see. Right? Now, you have a ground, right? If your ground, school ground is like that, this guy, when you are practicing cricket, right? So you are running, right? You are running around the ground like this. Right? And you will say, okay, I ran like 400 meters around the ground, like for one revolution, right? So, and that would be the perimeter. That would be the perimeter. No rocket science here, right? Then how to find the perimeter? There is a equation which is 2 pi r. This P is a perimeter, 2 pi r, right? So this will give you the length, right? The length for the full circle, right? So this one you have to remember. Next one is the area. So area, area is this, right? That area. So how do you understand that area? So, you know, your school ground, there are so many grass here, right? So you have to cut your grass, right? This is not your grass, school grass, right? So you get the, whatever the grass cutter, you cut everywhere, right? What you are going to cut, that's area, right? That's area. So to find the area, inside area, there is another formula, which is pi r squared. This is r. R means the radius. Radius means from center to the distance from center to the outer circle. That distance, this distance is the radius. Now there is another term called this diameter. Diameter would be this one. That diameter should go through the center. Then that is called the diameter. So you can see from the picture, the diameter has 2 radiuses. See the geometry here. So you can say then D diameter is nothing but 2 times R. Okay, so that is fine. Now, there is another question. If you have a line like this, is that a diameter?
No.
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 That's not a diameter. Diameter should go through the center here, right? This is called a chord. Okay. Now, if you have any questions while we are discussing this, please ask, right? So that is what we call learning. Now, my next question is this. How many diameters you can create here?
Infinite.
Say it again.
Infinite.
Very good. So that means you can have one here. You can have another here. You can have another here, another here, like a pizza, another here, another here. We missed our pizza party somehow, like that. So you can have so many diameters for a circle. Okay, so these are the basic things that you have to know. Now, what about this guy here? This guy is a weird guy. That guy is called pi. Pi. Pi is a number, right? 22 divided by 7 is named as pi. Right? So pi is equal to 22 divided by 7. So that means you can write this one in this way. 2 times 22 divided by 7 times r. Similarly, you can write this one. A is equal to 22 divided by 7 times r squared. So this 22 divided by 7 is nothing but This pi over here. No rocket science. These are defined things. And you have to understand, I didn't invent this, okay? I'm teaching you this, but I didn't invent those things. So similarly, you understand this, okay? So this is how you do that business. Okay. Now, we will go back to our question. Question number A, right? So here, now we'll understand this. The way the question is given to you, you understand the area which is mentioning here is the quarter of the full circle. Can you see this one from the picture? This one is 1/4 of the circle. And you can see that from here, right? So that means the area of this one should be, 1/4 of the full circle. Should be crystal clear. Then 1/4 times full circle. What is the area of the full circle? Pi r squared. Right? Pi r squared.
Sir.
Yes. So this area is 1/4 of pi r squared, right? That's what I said. Now here you have 1 here, right? So you know fractions, right? When you multiply fractions, two fractions like this, 1 divided by 2 times 1 divided by 3, what do? You just blindly multiply, right? 2 times 3 is 6, like that. So similarly, your area would be 1 divided by 4 times pi r squared divided by 1. So what you can do is 1 times pi r squared is pi r squared divided by 4. Same thing, right? Same thing. Now we'll do the question. Now area would be pi r squared divided by 4. Pi would be, that 4 means 1 divided by 4, right? So I can write this one, right? So I can write that one, right? This is the same thing, right? You have to understand this and this, the same thing. How come? Because you have 1 here. When you multiply, you get this. So these are neat things that you have to understand and remember, right? So every day we have to learn something new. Now this is now 1 divided by 4 times. What is pi here? Pi is 22 divided by 7. I didn't invent it. You didn't invent it. We will use it. R. What is R here? So R is given here, right? 7. See? So it's going to be 7 squared. 7 squared. Now, what is 7 squared here?
49. 49.
1 here. 7 times 7 squared means I'm going to write 7 times 7. Right? So you have to know 7 squared is 7 times 7. Right? So some people I have seen 7 squared, they write 7 times 2. That's wrong. This is the right thing. Right? I'm showing all of these so that you are not doing any mistake next time. Okay? So now what I can do is I can see 7 here and 7 here. I can get rid of those two, right? Why? Because 7 divided by 7 is 1. So 7 divided by 7, you can write as 1 divided by 7 times 7, right? You understand? Right? A divided by A can be written as A times 1 divided by A, right? Or 1 divided by A times A. These are very neat things that you have to understand. Why? Because you have 1 here, right? So for example, 1 divided by A times A. So you have 1 here. So when you multiply, you get A divided by A. Right? So it's a pretty neat thing. Now you can cut these two off, right? Cut these two off. So we'll do that. So if you do that, you get that. So it's going to be 22 times 7 divided by 4, right? And that is centimeters squared. That should be the answer. So I'm not going to simplify this. you can simplify this, right? Multiplication and division. This is easy, right? So I'm not going to do that, but that should be the answer once you simplify this. So question number B, let me explain this. You are asked to find this area, right? That is fine. The way it is given a little weird, right? So what you have to think means you have to visualize. We all are human beings, right? We all should be able to think, right? Visualize. So I'm helping you to think so that you can develop that thinking. Okay, so you make a circle like this. You make another circle like this. Can you see now 2 circles are there? 2 circles are there? Can you visualize it? 2 circles are there, but you are asked to find the part of that. Okay, now let me take you to here. Example. Everyone should understand this carefully. You have a big circle, you have a small circle here. Okay. So if this radius is R and this one is capital R, now tell me how to find this distance. Sorry, how to find this area, the shaded area. Quick. Anyone, quick. How to find this area?
Pi capital R squared.
Don't tell me the equation. Tell me how to do that.
You minus the circle by the small circle.
Okay. So now you can see if you have a big circle like this, then if you cut a small circle from inside, then you get this, right? So what I'm saying? Big circle, you are going to give a cut for a small circle, and then you get the shaded part. From the big circle, you give a cut, right? And that cutting part would be the small circle inside. Then you get the shaded part, right? In math, what do you mean by cut? In math, what do you mean by cut?
Subtract.
Minus or subtraction. Okay, so what we are going to do is big circle, from the big circle, you are going to subtract the small circle. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm saying here. So now what we do, big circle, area, cut, right? From that you have to cut. Cut means minus small circle area. That should be is equal to the green part. Everybody should understand this. Not rocket science. Very clear. Okay. So I hope you understand it. Please let me know if you have questions. Okay. So now we'll implement this. So I'm showing you the logic, right? So we'll implement it. So the shaded area is equal to big area. We say big area minus small area. Now you can visualize the logic inside, right? So what is a big area? Big area means this whole thing. That's a full circle, right? And that would be pi capital R squared minus small area. What is the small area? Small area would be this. right? That is a small area. That would be pi simple r squared. Very easy. Like you do like this kind of stuff in school, right? You get a piece of paper and cut it and make things, right? So very easy. You convert that concept into math. That's what they are expecting from you when you are growing up. Now, that would be pi r squared minus pi simple r squared. Now, we'll simplify this. Pi means 22 divided by 7. R means 14 times 14, right? So, because I'm going to take R as 7, capital R as 14 centimeter. Minus 22 divided by 7, 7 times 7. Now, when you simplify, you get 7 and 2 here, right? 14 divided by 7 is 2. 7 divided by 7 is 1. So you can do that. 22 times 14 times 2 minus 22 times 7, right? So the answer should be that. Means this. So I'm not going to simplify this. So you can do it easily because these are multiplication and minusing and multiplication here, right? You put a bracket here, and do that. So I'm showing you the logic, right? So because the main thing in math is how to do it. What is the first step? How to think? What is the initiation? The rest of the stuff, even in the VCE, easy peasy. Algebra, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, everybody can do it. But what everybody cannot do it is everybody cannot think. Everybody cannot see the structures. Everybody cannot visualize. Everybody cannot imagine. Everybody cannot use their previous experience into the current problem. Everybody can subtract. Even my daughter can subtract, multiply. She can do everything, right? Everyone can do it. So that's the biggest thing that we have to develop in math. Okay, hope you understand. Now, when I was solving here, this guy, when I was solving this guy, I just, sub in the values here, here, right? But I could do this neatly here. I'll show you that technique now. Okay. Now, can you see in those two terms, you have pi capital R squared minus pi simple R squared. Now, can you see in these two terms, pi and pi common? Then you can take pi out. Put a bracket here, R squared minus R squared. That's very neat. That's very neat, right? So when you do that, you can have pi is 22 divided by 7. And then inside you can have 14 squared minus R squared. And that simplification is less messier than this simplification over here, right? Now, don't ignore it. Don't. Why? Because these kind of stuff can do only experienced people, right? So if you want to be the best in the business, you can't ignore anything. So that's why I'm emphasizing it. These are neat things. For example, think about this way. You do exam this year, next year, some other day. Then there is a grader who's going to grade your sheet, right? And that grader is not me. The grader is not your parents. The grader is not your school teacher. Grader is someone else. So the grader doesn't know you, right? But you have to represent you from your write-up. From your write-up. Then the grader will see this write-up and say, smart boy. Smart boy. 10 out of 10. Okay. So What we are going to do here is this. I'm going to take pi out. Then I have r squared minus simple r squared. Now pi would be 22 divided by 7. R is 14 squared minus simple r is 7 squared, right? So I'm not going to simplify this because that simplification is a grade 3 simplification, right? Multiplication is a grade 3 thing. So I'm mainly teaching you the concept here. Question number C, look at question number C. Question number C is this, right? This area. So how do you find it? It's very easy, right? So you know the whole area here, right? You know the whole area, these things, right? Now, if you need this part, this is a little messy, but try to understand. If you need this part, do you understand that would be the half of this one or this one? The same thing, right? This shaded area. This shaded area is what? The green part, right? Green part, right? So now do you understand? This area is equal to half of the green shaded area. You understand that?
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's very simple. So that part, now you understood. This one would be the half of this one. You understand that? Okay. The next question is, if you want to find this area, what would be that? That area, what would be that? Now suppose
times a quarter.
Exactly. Now suppose you have four brothers, right? Four. So you're going to divide this donut into 4 pieces, right? So this is you. This is brother number 1, brother number 2, brother number 3. So you are going to equally cut it, right? But you need to find the area of your piece. Now from the geometry, can you see your piece would be 1/4 of the full donut. 1/4 of the full donut. Now what is a full donut? Shaded area. You put it in here. That would be 1 divided by 4 times area, shaded area. Shaded. Make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Perimeter of a circle. Now, so from center to the outside surface, the distance is r, which is called radius. Perimeter would be, if you start from here, the distance around it, right? Distance around it. That means if you start in different point, again, the distance around it, right? And then that will tell you that this perimeter is a distance. Perimeter is a distance. Distance is measured by centimeters, meters, kilometers, millimeters, like that, right? So it's a perimeter is a distance. Now, how to find the perimeter is 2 pi r for a full circle. Now 2 times pi is 22 divided by 7. R is r, right? Now if r is equal to 7, if r is equal to 7 centimeter, because this r is a distance 2, right? So r is a distance 2. So centimeter, you accept it, right? So everywhere has a logic. Then perimeter would be 2 times 22 divided by 7 times 7 you put with centimeters. Why? Because R is centimeter. Now you can cut these two off. Then you get perimeter is 44 centimeter. Makes sense. Makes sense. Why? Perimeter is a distance. Distances are measured by centimeter, millimeter, meter, kilometer. You got the answer in centimeter. 100% makes sense. No rocket science, but very easy logic. So that would be 2 pi r. So 2 times 22 divided by 7 times r. Now if r is equal to 7 centimeter, t is equal to 2 times 22 divided by 7 times 7 centimeter. Now these two can cancel. So it's going to be 44 centimeter, and that would be the perimeter. Okay, so now this one should be half of the full circle, right? Perimeter of the full circle. So that would be half of, that would be 2 pi r. That would be pi r. So that would be 22 divided by 7 times 7 centimeter. These two gone, 22 centimeter is the answer. Okay, next question. Now you have a half circle with the base. Center is here. So the radius is from here to here, it's r. Then r is equal to 7 centimeter. Now find the new perimeter. Now you have to understand the difference between this one and the previous one, right? So in the previous question, you have this part only. This part only this much, 22. You didn't have this. You can see the dotted line, right? You can see the dotted line. Dotted line means we don't consider. We consider only this. So that bit is this. Now, in the new question, you have this. So you have to give me the total. Total of those two. Okay, go for it. This question, here you can find this perimeter, right? What is that perimeter? You found it before. That would be 22 centimeters. Then what is going to add? This bit, which is 7, and this bit, which is 7. When you add those together, what do you get? 14 centimeter. Now the total is what? 22 centimeter plus the new 14 centimeter, which is 36 centimeter. Okay. So total P now, 22 centimeter plus 14 centimeter. It's going to be 36 centimeter. Now you can see this bit. That bit would be the half of this. Visualize it. So that would be 22. That means this should be 11. Right? 11. And plus, right? Look at the solid lines here. This one you have to add plus 7 centimeter. Also, you have to add this one here, which is again 7 centimeter. So the answer would be 11 plus 14, which is going to be 25 centimeter. Right. So